Okay, I had some questions the other day in regards to my video that I did on Max Scherzer and the idea of the downhill angle. I'm going to do kind of an expose on this whole thing and do a bunch of different sections of it. But this one today, I wanted to clarify, and I'll show you some live examples of it. The basic difference, and what I'm going to do is draw in this 4-foot line. And again, there's no magic in the fact that it's a 4-foot line. It just gives us an idea as to what the ball is doing over the course of the flight. Okay, so in both cases, you got this 4-foot line. He releases it up here around 5 feet or just a little bit higher than that, but clearly below 6 feet. And the one difference is that on average, his average fastball goes to a location that's just slightly below 2 feet. On the right, we have Miguel Cabrera's fastballs that on average went just slightly above 2 feet. Okay, so we're not talking about a big difference. We're just talking about the average fastball that was thrown. And where it crossed that 4-foot line was at about 17 or 18 feet in the higher example to Cabrera. Normally, it crosses around 26, 27 feet. So we're talking about 9 or 10 feet of difference. But really what we're talking about is the 18-foot line is how long it takes him to swing the bat. So after that 18-point line, doesn't matter what the ball does. If it stays up above, then he's going to be far more likely to fool guys. So it's a far more deceptive pitch when he throws it at the top part of the strike zone. When the pitch on the left goes down sooner, he recognizes it. So let me show you a real life example of that. Okay, this is JD Martinez on a 96 fastball up and in. Starts out over the plate, maybe even outer third. If you can see where that's starting, it looks like it's going outer third. And then the movement takes it back to the up and in extreme at 96. So the EV of that is just about 101 or so. And he's clearly late. He's got his left arm is bent a little bit, and he's drawn his hands in a little bit, and he's trying to go the other way with it to try to buy some time. Now, that's an interesting swing and an interesting approach that is copied pretty much throughout the Tigers organization, the guys that are good, the guys that are having some success. Cabrera, JD Martinez probably does it the best, although that's hard to say with Miguel Cabrera's success over the years. But JD Martinez has been very impressive on that. Okay, so let's look at the difference between that and a fastball that's going downhill. And this is a down and away fastball that's thrown to Justin Upton, but we're going to do a comparison so that you can see when it actually happens. So let me line up everything so that we can see it. And there's only one swing that's going to take place. Justin Upton does not swing at the pitch down and away. So what we're looking for, and I'm going to put the clock up in the upper right, what we're looking for is at what point do these pitches separate from a time perspective. They're on the same height now, and then all of a sudden about 0.1, I'm going to say it's right there. That's a third of the way to the plate. Okay, so that's about 20 feet out of the hand roughly. So by the time the ball gets to that place where you can see him swinging now, he is starting to swing the bat at that moment. He's going to be late on that fastball, but he would have recognized that outside fastball at about a third of the way to the plate. And so that's plenty of time. If the fastball is away, that's enough time for him to adjust. I shouldn't say plenty of time. There's very little time, but there is time to adjust if that is a fastball away, because he's got roughly about the same amount of reaction time as an off-speed pitch that was elevated. So now let's take a look at the homer that he hits on this 85 fastball, but the fastball is up above, just a little bit above or right on the diagonal. I'm going to say that it's probably a tiny bit above. So we're talking about somewhere between 85 and 87 EV. Okay, so that's the two different reactionary times depending on where that's at. Okay, so let's look at that swing now compared to this fastball up and in. And let's see what happens to JD Martinez and how different the swings are. Because if he's actually seeing this and adjusting to it, there'll be a very big difference between these two swings. But let's see if that's what's happening. When is his foot down? Is toe tap, same time. Heel plant, same time. Hip initiation, same time. Very interesting. What that tells you is that his swing is happening at exactly the same time on this 96 fastball and this slider that's up above our diagonal a little bit. Same swing. One of them works, one of them does not work. Now, let's look at something else interesting. You've got the 85 mile an hour swing, or the 85 mile an hour slider that's hit out of the yard. And then we have this 94 mile an hour fastball on the outside part of the plate. Now let's see what happens on that. Now he only swings at the homer. But watch the bat as it comes into the zone to hit the homer. Right now, he could hit either one of those. He could hit that 91 fastball away, because 91 down and away is really about 88, 87. And what is the 85 that's just slightly up? It's 87. So when you live down and away, and then you make a slight mistake on 85, when you live down and away at 94, it turns into 91 if it's middle away, and 88, somewhere around 88 there. So 85, when you make a slight mistake with it, that's death. And that's what you're seeing right here. You're seeing death happen, but not because he's so good that he recognizes this and adjusts to it. That's not what's going on. What's going on is he's making one swing that's going to cover as big a spread of speed as he possibly can. Brilliant. It's really, really a great concept. But it has a major flaw. And that major flaw, the fly in the ointment, is 96 in here. Or that even the 94, when it's used up and in, he has no shot of covering that, because that is closer to 100 EV, not 91 EV. That's what happens when you throw 91 middle away. When you throw it down and away, it's closer to 88. And now if you throw your off-speed pitch at 86, 87, 85, you're just begging for trouble. It's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen. The accidents are going to happen. It's just a matter of when do they happen. So my first question is, would you rather throw 100 or 91? So if you throw 94 and you throw it middle in, it's really 97. And when you throw it up and in, extreme, in the strike zone, it's really 100 EV. So do you want your 94 to turn into 100? Or do you want your 94 to turn into 91? Actually, I should draw it the other way. When it goes up and in the strike zone, turns into 100. When it goes down and away, turns into 91. So it's your choice. That's really what you're dealing with right there, is the difference between that. So let's take a look now at one more thing. Let's look at this fastball up and in. And then let's compare that to this changeup that Martinez swings through at about 87. Those two pitches are exactly on top of each other until there. That's halfway. A little bit beyond halfway. And what do we see? Do we see the hitter make a different swing on one? Toe touch, same. Heel plant, same. Hip initiation, same. There's almost no ghost effect in his swing. The only ghost effect that you see is the differential between one bat being up here and the other bat being down here. So he does recognize the height, and he's going to make an adjustment, obviously. But the timing of it is virtually exactly the same. So he's swinging the bat. If you could picture a swing machine that is set to a certain speed, that's what's happening here. He's trying to cover as many bases as possible by taking one swing and applying it to the most speeds possible. That completely goes out the window when he does what he's done right here in this pitch combination. He has made it almost impossible to hit this pitch because it's too fast. The slider executed would be at about 82 EV, and that's too big a spread between 100 and 82. And then this changeup that's off the plate at 87, it's a little fast, but it's not a little fast if you're throwing 100. If he's respecting 100, what happens on that changeup at 87? Let's take a look at that. It's swung on and missed. And it's swung on and missed partly because it's in a good location, but partly because it looks exactly like the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. That's the biggest reason. So he is fooling guys on this evening because he's throwing 100, 87 down there, 82 down there for the most part. He's got these huge spreads, and every one of them look alike when they're executed. So what happens when he's going bad? He turns his 100 into 91. And that 87 now, and that 85 slider. So he's dealing with 87 changeup, 91 fastball, 87. You tell me, how hard is that to deal with? That's like the soccer goalie. He's got this much stuff to cover, and so he can cover about this much of it. So what does he do? He does the best he can to try to stay in the middle, but as soon as he leans one way or the other, it opens up this whole other area. He can't cover it all. No hitter can cover it all. You can't physically cover it all. The harder the guy throws, the bigger that soccer goal gets. The bigger that spread of 100, 100 to 82, no human can cover that spread differential. That's like the goalie having to cover this extreme and this extreme. No goalie can cover all of that without guessing. It can't physically be done. And no hitter can cover 100 and 82. It's physically impossible. It cannot and will never be done. Not when those two pitches are in the same tunnel. When they're coming out of the same tunnel, like you see in this pitch and this fastball, it will never be covered. Now, this one's not that big, huge speed differential because this is a changeup at 87. But those two pitches are too close together to be able to recognize the difference. And one of the really, really top elite hitters of the game is struggling with that. Now, you mix in an 82 EV, so you got 82, 87, and 100. Nobody's hitting that. Nobody is hitting that when those are all coming out of the same tunnel. It's not going to happen. What happens, though, is that when Max is bad, he goes 88, down and away fastball. 88, changeup, down and in. Slider at 87, that's thrown middle, is 87. So he's throwing 88, 88, 87, 88, 88, 87. How hard is that to cover? And for a guy like JD Martinez, it's not hard at all because he's very good at that. But the second, and that would be like you throwing pitches here, here, and here in this soccer goal concept. Of course he can cover it. Any goalie can cover that. Only the elite guy has the more elite the goalie is, the bigger area he can cover. Well, with pitchers, you can expand the goalie size, the size of the goal. But the guy can't get quicker and faster and stronger overnight. He can only cover a certain amount of that. But what pitchers are doing, and it's because of Sabermetrics telling them that the best place to throw the fastball is down and away because it gets more ground balls. That's what the front offices are telling everyone in Major League Baseball. 13% up and in, 21% down and away. 16 out of 20 clubs have done that. They threw exactly that same breakdown. That is utterly amazing to me. And guys are listening. And on the few rare exceptions when they don't listen and they go 44% up and in fastballs, you get things like 20 strikeout nights.